Thrifty Homestead. I hope you are having a great day. Today we are going to make sauerkraut. Do you like sauerkraut? I love sauerkraut. I love homemade sauerkraut. When you buy sauerkraut at the store, if it's on the shelf and it's got a seal on it, that means it's been processed and you lost a lot of the good probiotic, prebiotic, all that good gut healthy bugs that we want. So today I am going to show you how simple and how easy it is to ferment, yes, ferment sauerkraut. Don't be scared, don't be nervous about fermenting. Fermenting is very easy to do. Okay, I have a large head of cabbage. I have a big bowl. And then I have a washed mason jar. This is a half a gallon. You can use pints, you can use quarts, whatever you have, you can use. I did splurge. You do not have to have this. I just got this last year. I splurged and I did the I do a challenge in January, February, and part of March, and it's a challenge of not going to the grocery store. You're only allowed a certain, and we'll talk more about that this winter. But anyways, and so when I saved my money for not going to the grocery store in January and February, I get to splurge and buy something with the money that is in my grocery budget, and I splurge and I get to buy me something for my kitchen. And last year I bought, it's Mason Tops. I'm not affiliate with them or nothing like this. But it's a complete fermentation kit. And it comes with, I'll show you real quick. It comes with a masher. I call it a masher. But it comes with a masher. Wide for wide mouth, narrow for narrow, the narrow. And this is what you mash. I used a wooden spoon beforehand, so you don't have to have this. You can use a wooden spoon. And then it has weights. And you have to do, you have to look and see. This is for wide mouth, and they do have it for the narrow mouth. But it comes with glass weights. And then it comes with a pipe top. This is a pipe top, and it is pipe. It's like a little bottle, actually. And if you look, it has, let me see if I can get it close to y'all. It has a hole right there. And it's made for the air to escape. It's made for the air to go out, but nothing to come in. So, no gnats or nothing. And you're just going to lay it on top of your jar and screw it in. If you do not have this, you're just going to put if you don't have this kit, that's fine. No big deal. You don't have to get it. Like I said, this was a splurge for me, and I don't splurge very often, and I use the word splurge I don't use it loosely at all, because this was a splurge for me. I got one for the narrow and the wide mouth. So, but if you don't have one, all you're going to do is put a lid over top of it and a ring, and you're not going to screw it down tightly. You're just going to barely screw it in, and you're going to burp it every day. So you're just going to go and open it, let the gases escape, and then you're going to kind of tighten it back down a little bit. That's all you're going to do. Easy peasy. No big deal at all. No big deal at all. I've done that for years. No big deal. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the the bad leaves, which I'm going to do the first two. Now, the recipe goes, it's for a small head of cabbage, but you can use whatever you have. This is a huge one, so I'm going to use a huge one. So I am going to cut the core off. That's just because I don't like it. And I took the two heads. Now I am going to go over here. I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to wash it really good. So let's go over here and wash it really good. If you see any bad spots, remove it because we don't want nothing. This is fermenting, so we don't want bad spots in our cabbage. So let's go water. Cabbage washed, and we're going to stop and take a coffee sip break. So I'm going to cut it in half. I did keep a large leaf out for the top, especially if you don't have the pipes. All right, now we're going to cut the core out. This is the core where the stem was, and we're going to cut that out. I'm just going to cut around it. Out. I'm going to move that real quick. I'm going to work with this one. Okay. I would give that to my chickens, but I gave them some the other day, and they didn't eat it. Now there's bad spots in this in the middle, so I'm just tossing that to the side because we don't want bad spots in our sauerkraut. So I have all the core removed. I have all the bad spots removed. Now I am going to take my knife, and then I'm just going to shred it real thin. You can chunk it, you can shred it, you can do whatever you want to, however you like your sauerkraut. And so I'm going to slice it thinly like this, and then I'm going to dice it. Because I like sauerkraut on top of like tacos. I put it on top of everything. I try to eat at least one probiotic, sometimes 2 a day. This is the easiest, simplest, best way to keep your gut and health good and healthy. Now, I have my bow here, so I'm going to take my diced, I'm just going to put it in my bow, just like that. And I'm going to continue on. So we have our cabbage all shredded up. Now, the recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of salt, a fine salt. I use Redmond real salt. Fine salt for 1 tablespoon per small head of cabbage. Now, I will tell you, you can always add salt, but you can never take the salt away. So what we do, now that was a large head, so I'm going to go ahead and use 2 tablespoons. But if it's a small head, you start with 1 tablespoon. So I'm going to take 1 tablespoon, sprinkle it, and then I'm going to take another one because mine was a large head. But now you may not like yours very salty, so I'm just going to kind of stir it in. Make sure you have good, clean, I just washed my hands. Make sure you have good, clean hands. Washed hands. Fresh washed hands. I'm going to stir it in. Make sure it gets coated really good. Now, I'm going to take a piece. Taste it. It was salty. I'm going to add a little bit more. Now, this is where it's your preference. So 1 tablespoon may be good. 2 tablespoons may be great. And then, you know, so it's all up to how you like, how salty you like your food. Now I'm going to stir that in. And then let me taste it again. Perfect. So now I got the salt perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start massaging the salt into the, I'm going to start massaging the salt into the cabbage to make juices. So I'm just going to sit here and break the, kind of like break the skin, break the enzymes, and let them start breaking down. So I'm going to sit here and do this for a few minutes. You can see where it's already, whoops, you didn't see that. But you can see how it's already getting glossy and how it's, see how it's already starting to get kind of wet and glossy. That is the enzymes breaking down, and that means that it's going to be good and juicy. So let's continue for a little bit longer. So I am going to go wash my hands, and then I'm going to cover this with the towel, some kind of cloth, tea towel or something. I'm going to cover it with I'm going to cover mine with a tea towel, and I'm going to let it sit here for about 2 hours. I want that to keep on breaking down. I want it to continue to make the juices because that's my brine. This is making my, God knows what he's doing. So this is actually going to break down. It's going to make the brine for my sauerkraut. Okay, so I'll see you back in a few hours. Okay, so it's been a few hours. So let's look at our sauerkraut. It looks good. Looks real good. Here's my extra leaves. I just set them in there to keep them safe. It's really good. It's starting to get juicy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our clean jar, a pint, quart, half gallon, whatever, and then with good washed hands, let me get my funnel, we're going to start putting it in our jar. You're going to put a little bit. This may be a little messy. And then you're going to take your smasher and you're going to pound it. And then, let me show you. Let me see where you see it. And you're going to pound it. And then you're going to add a little bit more. And we're just going to keep on repeating. If it doesn't have enough brine to cover your cabbage, which it's getting juice in there. As you pound it, makes juice. If you don't have enough, you can make a brine, and I'll give you the recipe to make the brine. So I don't want to misspeak. So I think it's salt and water and then you just pour it over it. I'm going to have more than a half a gallon. Just a little bit more. You want to leave about an inch headspace, if not more. Alright, so now I'm going to pour some of my brine in there. So I'm not going to have enough brine, so I'm going to have to make some more to cover up, because I still got more kraut in there, and you want it have enough to cover it. Okay, so if you see, the liquid is about right here. It's not over it. So I hope I don't have to make a brine mixture, but I may. But I'm going to wait 2 or 3 days, because this will continue to make juice, and I don't want to add juice to it, add a brine to it, and then it overflows, because it will make juice. So I'm going to put my cabbage, my little leaf of cabbage, I'm going to put that right there and sink it. And then I'm going to take my weight and put that in there. If you don't have a weight, that's fine. Just take your little leaf, just take your little leaf of cabbage. So I'm going to put this lid on right here, this pipe. If you don't have a pipe, you just take one of these and take your ring. Take your ring, and you're just going to lightly go on like that. And then every day you're just going to burp it, like release it a little bit, let it burp, and then put it back down. You don't want it super tight, because you'll bust the lid, and that has happened. So you're just going to kind of loosely tighten it and let it breathe. All right, that's how you make sauerkraut. We're going to let it sit for 2 to 3 days. We're going to make sure it has juices that cover the cabbage. If there's no juices that cover the cabbage, then you're going to mix a half a teaspoon of salt with a half a cup of water. You're going to let that salt dissolve, and then pour it until it covers the cabbage. You're going to let it sit on your counter in a dark spot where the sun don't shine for 10 to 14 days until it's your liking. Then you get to put it in the refrigerator and enjoy fresh, great, wonderful, gut healthy sauerkraut. All right, thank you for joining me here on Little Clifty Homestead. I hope you go get you some cabbage and make you some sauerkraut today. All right, bye. Remember. All right, it's been 12 days since my fermentation, my sauerkraut has been fermenting on my counter. It's been, so now it is ready. It looks really good. It's at the perfect tenderness and consistency that I want. So now all I have to do is stop the fermentation process. Well, actually, I'm going to slow it down. So whenever it gets ready where you want it to be, it's got the tenderness, the taste that you want, you're going to unscrew this, your top. You're going to take your air pipe off, and then you're going to get you take your weight or your cabbage lip. I'm going to just, well, take your weight off, and if you have that whole cabbage on the top, leaf on the top, you can keep that in there. I'm just going to keep that in there. Now I'm going to put a lid on it, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, and it is good to go. Sauerkraut is actually one of the easiest ways to start fermentation. If you want to try to start putting fermented foods in your diet, sauerkraut is the way to go, and it's actually the easiest way to start, because you got cabbage, and that's all you do, cabbage and salt. Sourdough is my next, but sourdough is kind of hard. So, but you know, but we're going to learn. I'm going to teach you how to do sourdough soon. But now my cabbage is ready to go, so I'm going to stick this in the refrigerator. It will continue to ferment slowly, but this will last for a couple of months in your refrigerator. So anyway, so go out and get you a head of cabbage and make you some sauerkraut today. So thank you for watching here at Little Clifty Homestead. Remember to give me a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you here next week. Bye.